This is the city of Absalom, the city at the center of the world. Absalom is celebrating the Radiant Festival, a 3-month festival of epic proportions held once every 100 years. The celebration attracts all types: tourists, performers, merchants, inventors, as well as unsavory types, petty thieves, gangs, cults, and criminal enterprises. That's where we come in. We protect and serve. We are the Agents of Edgewatch.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat, Agents of Edgewatch. I'm your GM and host, Stephen Glicker, and in this week's episode, they have all the clues they need. They have put all the pieces together. It's time to check out the Dreaming Palace. I wonder if they'll find anything there. I have a feeling they just might. So I'm just going to let you all know this, that this is an adventure that everyone thought they knew what was happening. When everyone first heard this adventure, they thought, oh, this is the police adventure. This is where they're playing guards in Absalom, and they're going to be doing guard stuff and police type stuff. But to tell you the truth, that is a misnomer. This is not the police adventure. This is not the guard adventure. This is the hardcore horror adventure. That's right, hardcore. I couldn't believe what I was reading when I continued to read through this adventure. This thing is pretty unbelievable. In fact, there's warnings throughout all the adventures of how to tone it down, which kind of makes sense if you think about it, because the things that police have to deal with are often quite terrible. And this is, well, them dealing with these terrible items, and you're going to see them and hear them. And I'm going to warn you that we are pretty vivid in what they're going to discover. So if you are really, really squeamish, hopefully you'll be able to handle the next couple of episodes. But it gets brutal. It gets really, really brutal. And I couldn't believe how different this adventure was once I started to read it than what it was billed at. You know, they bill it as like, oh, you're going to be going on fun adventures and solving cases. You are, but the cases they're solving are horrible, brutal, nasty cases that just get worse and worse and worse. Now, I love it. I actually think this is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I've never played an adventure like this. I think they're having an amazing time. You know, as I've said many, many times before, they're not adventurers. They are people doing a job, and they just happen to get into situations that call for people to, well, act like adventurers. But they're not adventurers. They're guards. And it really changes the dynamic, especially for this part. Because normally if they were adventurers, they would just kick in the door and just like ransack the place and just do whatever they want. But they can't. They're guards. They have to follow rules. They have to follow the badge. And they have to make sure that they play by the rules. So when they go to investigate this hotel, they do a great job. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm really impressed that they try to make sure that they always do everything by the book, that they always have reasonable cause. They try to think out why they can do something, that they don't just break indoors and just do things without reason. And that is the subtle but huge difference between this adventure path and, well, in any other adventure path I've ever played in my life. Because if you're an adventurer, you are not a good person. I mean, think about it. These adventurers, they show up and they just blow things apart and break down doors and just, it's just a mess, man. In fact, I am not a huge fan of Lower Decks. I love Star Trek, but Lower Decks was not that great. But the aspect of Lower Decks is genius, where these are the people who have to deal with everything that happens after the episode. It's like, okay, you got to see the senior officers beam down to the planet, take care of business, but then who takes care of everything after they're gone? Who takes care of the mess? Who has to dealing with all the locals and cleaning up anything they broke? Well, that's the people from the lower decks, and they did a lot from their point of view, and that is a brilliant idea for a television show, and that's what I feel like this is. This is you seeing what happens after the adventurers leave. Or, better yet, this is how the adventurers find out where they're supposed to go. These are the lead generators. These are the guys finding out, hey, something weird's going on there. Can we hire some people outside the system to go investigate it and see what's all that about? So I'm really having a great time with this adventure, and this is going to be my favorite part. This is part 4. It's the last part of book 1, and it is just fantastic. I love this part. They do a great job, and you are going to be really impressed, I think, with their role-playing. I hope you are. Anyhow, with that, let's get to this week's show notes. So I just want to mention those of you interested in the RPG Superstar contest or just interested in really cool monsters in general, we are getting in all the artwork, or a lot of the artwork, for the RPG Superstar monsters. And I'm posting that artwork on the Discord channel. So just go to discord.rollforcombat.com, go to the RPG Superstar section, and you will see me posting artwork at least once a week. Because as I'm getting it in, I'm going to put it up and you can see all the different monsters and what they look like full color. And they are looking fantastic. And if you tell me who you are, if you won, just give me your name and I will send you the monster and even show you the sketches and even get your feedback. I'm doing that right now with one of the monsters. I showed it to the author, got a little bit of feedback from him, had the artist adjust it a little, and now we are going full bore with it. It is looking great. In fact, he had some good ideas. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Just go to discord.rollforcombat.com. If you're not interested in that, just go there and check out the cool community and check out the monsters. You are going to love them. Also, don't forget to check out discord.rollforcombat.com if you want to play games, because we got a lot of games there. And don't forget, make sure you check out the Patreon. It's now only $5 as of 2021. For $5, you can listen to us play it live. And not just listen to us play live, just listen to us talk. In fact, this week we had nothing but bookkeeping. We actually did 3.5 hours of bookkeeping and talking about other systems and the history of Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder and role-playing games in general for fun. That's all we did. And you could have listened to that whole thing. That show is never going to air, because that is just us talking. There's no adventure to it whatsoever. Maybe I'll throw it up as an extra for Patreon. Maybe. There's a lot of side things going on there. Like, we'll talk about our fantasy football, and then we'll talk about movies and books and food we're making. Like, we just talk about anything. And I know a lot of people like to hear that. So every episode, we usually talk anywhere from half an hour to an hour, and then we play the game for 2 to 3 hours. So if you become a Patreon for $5, you can listen to that twice a week. That's right, every week we always play both games. So check that out. And then finally, I can't emphasize this enough, make sure you go into Roll for Combat and checking out Talking Combat with Jason McDonald. His column is fantastic. I love reading it every week. It gives you a full recap, and especially I like his 3-ring adventure column, because that is the only adventure that he's not playing. He is kind of cheating when he's doing the Agents of Edgewatch column, because he knows what's going to happen, so he's kind of leading it a little. But the circus column, he has no idea. He has no clue what's happening. So he is writing it from the point of view of someone who is completely innocent and has no idea what's going to happen next. So make sure you check those out. Anyhow, with that, let's get to this week's exciting episode of Agents of Edgewatch. Last we left off, you were on day 2 of the job, and on the second day, you had another super long day. You went to the kobolds, you rescued the hostages, then you went underground, got very diseased, very, very diseased, killed lots of horrible things, let some bad guys go without knowing they were bad guys, then went into a really, really weird party and found out lots of stuff and have a laundry list of people you need to follow up and arrest when you get higher level. And then you came back and crashed. And then you woke up and you're level 3. Look at that. A level a day keeps the doctor away. That's what I always say. Although, speaking of doctors, Gomez and Dougie had to visit the doctor so they didn't turn into a Varghoul and a regular ghoul because, you know, that could happen. But now you're all okay. You spent some money. Although it looks like Lomang's saving up for a rainy day. Or Lomang's got all the cash. He's waiting to spend it when he needs it.
I have simple needs.
But with that,
I'm a monk after all.
Chris Beamer is playing Lo Mang, an orc tiefling monk of the crane style.
it looks like you're about to go to something called the Dreaming Palace. Now, you don't need to use subterfuge. You can just walk in and you can just, be yourselves. You don't have to dress up in fancy clothes like last time. You can, just talk to the proprietor, see what's going on. But a few things I want to mention now that you are level 3. First of all, I'm giving you 2 hero points for this session. So use them or lose them.
Really?
Well, you get 1 for the session, but then you get 1 for getting a good lead. So you're getting an extra hero point. So I carried it over. It was going to be at the very end of last session, which I think is unfair. It's like, oh, here's your extra hero point, and we're ending the session.
Yeah.
So I'm carrying it over. So you got 2. Next, your badges are now the same level as you, so they will heal 12 hit points instead of 6 if you use the lay on hands, which will, come in handy. Maybe? We'll see. Maybe you'll need to use that.
Is it the badge? Does it give 3 hit points per level?
No, it's 6 hit points per 2 levels.
It's 6 every other
okay.
level.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
John Statz is playing Cadet Dougie McDougal, a human ruffian rogue.
Yeah, that's how it works. Well, that's actually not a bad idea, John. I might adapt that. That's actually not a bad idea. I kind of like that it gradually goes up. But for now, it's 12 hit points when you use it. Third, this is very important because I'm having some issues with some of my other games. Where your character is where your character is. This is very important because let's just say a trap goes off or a monster or something gets sprung and the area of effect is within 15 feet. Where you are is where you are. I've had issues in the past where people will say, oh, I'm searching that room, but they're literally 40 feet from the room. And I'm like, okay, these are the 3 options going forward. You can either say, I'm searching that room, but you don't move your character, which means you are using your eyes and perception checks, and that's it, from 40 feet away, which is not searching the room, it's just looking at the room, which is, you can find stuff that way. Not easily, but it can be done. You search the room, and you move your character into the room, and you say you're searching it, or you say you search the room, and then I move your character into the room. Now, we don't have to go through the rigmarole of you actually walking through the entire room. You can say, I go into the room and I search the room. But you need to actually physically move your character into the room. I can't have 4 characters standing 40 feet outside the room saying, yeah, we searched it. Like, no, you did not search a 30 by 20 room and everyone's standing half a football field away. Like, yeah, I'm searching. No, you're not. That does
It
not
is very
count.
important for people to walk into the gelatinous cube like I did. I did it the right way.
Yeah,
You saying you
Correct.
did things and not walking into the gelatinous cube, you were wrong. I was right.
Seth Lipton is playing Gomez, a goblin elementalist sorcerer.
You could have just looked at the gelatinous cube, but no, you searched it from the inside.
Jason McDonald is playing Basil Blackfeather, a Tengu empiricist investigator.
And that's the appropriate way to do it. That's how you'd have to do it.
In fact, I'm going to use you as my example from now on, Seth. If you walk into the gelatinous cube, you did it the right way. That is the criteria, okay?
That's the veteran move.
So, I was thinking about this movement thing, and it, when you start sort of comparing, the game and the game mechanics, and then think about just real life and how people move, and especially as a group that's on high alert and ready for shit. is in the game, mechanically, it's like we all have to sort of take our own turn, and then like one person moves 30 feet up, then the next person moves 30 feet up, then the third person, then the fourth. Really, a lot of the time, if you're moving as one unit, like we all move at the same time, the same amount. Like there should be some way we can do that, because that's sometimes where you get into problems, because then it's like the one guy, like, well, we want to go up to that door that's 30 feet away, and then one person does it, and that's the person who gets screwed, when really you're supposed
then they're separated from the party.
Right,
like can we say that, like,
of course.
Can we call out like party move or something?
Yes,
Right,
you
party
can
move,
totally
yeah.
do that. I just want to make sure everyone's agreeing to it, because in some other games where they have very, very squishy spellcasters who basically say, no, I'm always 30 feet away. I'm never with the party, ever.
That would be me from now on.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. But I don't mind that. But also, don't forget, exploration mode, you can do things like search and seek and casting spells, which will give you pluses to your searching. It'll give you pluses to your initiative. So that is kind of taken care of in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. My point is that just be aware, like, where your character is where your character is. And it mostly will go into effect when you walk into a gelatinous cube, or you set off a trap, or things happen. It's going to matter.
Yep.
It is interesting because it is a problem. Like there's the military procedure where, and you see them, like you see videos of it where like an infantry squad, every gun is pointed covering a different part of the clock, and they all move simultaneously, and it's very well organized.
Exactly.
There are certain circumstances where you're doing that, and then there's certain circumstances because you can't do that all the time because it's very intense. So like when people are just walking around, like if we're just walking down the street, freaking happens all the time. People lag behind, they stop without telling anybody, they go and look at something like that happens too. And so it is a balance. Like, it's like, how much are we going to want to do? Like, Chris, I want to go to that door. You have to move your guy with me. We have to kind of figure that out. We do have to figure that out.
Everyone grab your buddy.
Yeah.
We're in kindergarten now.
I mean, I tend to be, I'm going to always be in the front, and Dougie probably is also.
Yeah, I'll probably be in the very front, because especially if we're in, I'm going to be in search mode or exploration mode, where I am searching for traps. That's basically my default. I have a bonus,
Yeah, Jason, where's Basil going to be in all this usually?
He'll probably be behind, kind of stay behind Lowman, because he's
right.
The value
it's
of
like using
Lowman.
that. Yeah, like using that everybody grab their buddy analogy. It actually seems like I would be with you, Jason, and then the two more combat guys, Dougie and Lomang, would be.
But on the other hand, the flip side is, as the investigator, it is useful for me to get in there and start looking around sooner rather than later.
That's true.
So.
That's true. It's never
I
perfect.
mean, I'm thinking like we make sure everything's clear, and then you can investigate to your heart's desire.
Yeah, and there's also if it's not a trap, then it's a monster. And for some reason, when we lose initiative, like the monster attacks when it's just one person out in front, all these monsters have like crazy attacks, and
it's very deadly. It's very deadly.
You die before you go unconscious even before you have an action, which is
it's like it's often like I'm seeing that I'm writing that I'm seeing that writing on the wall where that's why I was making that joke about how I'm never going to use my second level spells, because I'm seeing the writing on the wall, and my first action of every combat will be raised. Get the person at 0 hit points back on their feet.
Heal.
Characters do get a little more survivable around level 3 or 4, so just to give you some hope.
You guys are definitely going to start taking punches, trust me. Which brings me to the last item, is that we're now getting to, before you had the warm-up, this is now the real deal. So if you die, I have a plan. That's all I'm going to say. So if your character drops dead, I have a plan.
I would prefer to not die.
We go on the record?
It's the ghoul plan. It's the ghoul healthcare plan.
That's right. We'll raise you as a zombie, and we'll get a leash, and Lomang will walk you, and you'll just be like, it's like that movie Fido, which nobody
like Michonne from The
saw.
Walking Dead. It's like Michonne from The Walking Dead.
It's like Blue Cross Blue Shield, but more literal.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have the zombie stink around you, you're immune to other zombies, by the way.
So I'm done with my spiel. You guys are ready.
I have a
What
question.
you
We go
gonna
there.
do?
I
go
have a
there.
question. I need my memory refreshed.
Yes.
I have completely forgotten
Why
the
we're going.
reasoning behind our mission to find out about these dwarves.
Let's see. I
smiths.
took
like
some
what's the like why are we finding them?
So over 20 people have gone missing in the last month. And you are aware of a few of them directly. There's that guy, the wizard Caminius, who went disappeared. There is Knight and his lover. They disappeared from the circus. Sorry, from the zoo. And then there's these 5 workers, human, that have gone missing. And the sergeant asked you to look into this because that's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are going missing. So something's up.
So we're just going to the place to find these dwarves, basically to find out if they're okay, is what I'm hearing. Then.
They might be there, is what we
they're not
Right.
dwarves. They're just.
But we're not like bringing them in for questioning. That like we're not suspicious of them for any reason. Like we're
No.
basically trying to find them to make sure that they're all right.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, there's
right.
5 workers that are gone. You personally know of 8 people that are missing. Plus, there's another. You actually have a small list of another 12 people that are missing. So,
And the person at the hotel who runs it is Hendred Pratchett. I have that
All right.
in
So
my
let's
notes
just
as
for
well.
the sake of my own OCD. We have an unusually long list. There's been an unusual number of missing persons reports. There's been an unusually large number of missing person cases, and so now we're going through the list, starting with these dwarves, of these missing persons cases, to see what is going on. Why so many missing people in such a short amount of time? That's what I'm hearing.
correct.
All right, I'm in. Let's go.
I'm going to give you, in chat, I'm going to give you the list of people.
All right, here's the list. Anastasia Corvus, a human Irasani merchant who came to Absalom to sell ice wine. Archibald Knight and Monera Frum, a halfling menagerie owner and his human veterinary employee. Those are the ones we're familiar with. The Dragonfly Masons, Minkayan stonemasons working on the Dragonfly Pagoda. Humans named Roji Auzo, Asao Inuya, Nakura To, Shuno Danoma, and Takeko Lon. Alama Mohaso, a dwarven scholar from Rahadum who came to the city to study at the Foray Logos. Kemenellis, a human wizard originally from Taldor who trained at the Archimerium decades ago. That was the mage who went missing whose student was trashing the shop. So that's another one we actually dealt with directly. Lirma Swampwalker, a gnome ranger from Vidrian who came to Absalom to see the fair. And the Sakta family, a family of Jalmari tourists consisting of a mother, father, Vindi, and Sudar, and their 8-year-old twins, Bashar and Nita.
That's a lot of people.
3, 5 is 8, 9, 10, 11, and 4, 15 on that list.
Wow.
There are others, but you don't have information on them. You've heard rumors, but those are the ones that you actually have missing report filed on those people. So you head on over to the Dreaming Palace. I actually have a picture of the palace.
Oh, cool. And a description?
So it is a hotel. It appears to be nice, if a little strange. It's 2 stories. The street level walls are original thick gray stone, and the windows are sort of irregularly placed and have elegant wrapping and ivy on them, as well as some window dressing. The second floor is a more conventional half timbering with whitewashed panels and leaded windows. There are several brick chimneys, a small round tower poking up from the northeastern side. It appears to be quite nice, definitely a highfalutin hotel, if you will. And it is in a fairly busy part of town. The northern part of the hotel, completely opposite of the entrance, is actually also butting up against another building, sort of like how they do in Manhattan, as you all well know. So it's really the south side, the west side, and the east side have windows and are accessible. The north side is actually connected to another freestanding building.
Are there doors just at the south side?
Yes, there's only doors at the south side. What do you do?
Do you want me to just like go to the front desk and use my social skills to do?
Sure.
Are we in
cop stuff?
uniform right now?
Yeah, you're totally in uniform.
Yeah, this is on the books.
All right, so I'll do that. I'll take the lead, and I will enter and see if there's a front desk and a clerk.
Entrevue.
There I am trying to enter.
Party move.
You walk into the lobby. Large arch windows illuminate the elegantly polished floor and warm wooden furniture of the hotel's reception area. Directly across from the stout main doors, double doors of bronze lattice are carved to resemble interwoven vines and offer tantalizing glimpses of a very large chamber beyond. A few comfortable chairs surround the fireplace to the west, while to the east a long, tall counter encircles a small wooden door. And in front of that counter, you see a woman.
So I approach the woman.
You see a woman half-orc who sees you enter, and she says, good morning, officers. How may I help you?
Good day, ma'am. My name is Officer Gomez of the Edgewatch. I'm here on official business. We have missing persons investigation, several dwarves that we understand were in residence here. We'd like to talk to them if possible.
They're not dwarves. Humans. They're humans. Go back.
They're humans?
Yeah.
The smiths?
The workers?
They're all
stonemasons? I thought,
Yep.
why did I
they're
think they were dwarves
humans.
this whole time?
We
They're
may
all-
have accidentally referred to them as dwarves.
Oh, but I've been doing it. I've been doing that consistently.
I
the
could've
entire time. For
swore
like
they
3
were
episodes, I've been
dwarves.
calling them dwarves. All right, so the
start that
stonemasons,
over. Yeah.
I give their names, and like we'd like to confirm that they have rooms here, and we'd like to talk to them.
Oh,
So it's nothing untoward. Some people just were concerned because they were reported missing.
Well, you know, we do have to value the privacy of our residents. You much realize that. That's one of the things that people pay for when they come to the Dreaming Palace.
All right, so what's my I have my legal knowledge, and so I make a legal knowledge check to define specifically the bounds of their versus my authority. Like, where is that?
Using your legal lore, you know that you could ask to see anything public, such as the hotel itself, the hallways, any rooms that are not occupied by individuals. That is allowable. You can also see the ledger, and you can question the employees or owners to a lesser extent. That's about as far as you can go right now without more evidence.
All right. Well, I cite elements of the code of laws and say I totally understand your responsibility, but I have a responsibility as well, and also this is about the safety of individuals, and as you know, I am empowered by, and then I just legalese them and say and demonstrate my authority, and say, and on the basis of that, we would really prefer your cooperation, and I would like to see your ledger.
Okay. Could you give me the names or descriptions of these missing people that you're discussing?
I do. I go, it's like we're looking for these people with these whatever descriptions I have of them.
Okay. She pulls up the ledger. She looks through it, and she shakes her head back and forth, and she's like, Nope, I don't see these people that you mentioned on the ledger. Maybe they went somewhere else. Here, you can take a look. And she hands over it's the ledger of the hotel of everyone who signed in and signed out.
All right, so I start looking through the ledger, and I skip to the time period that they would be here for, and I see if they see their names, and also I'm a little suspicious, so I'd like to look for any kind of signs, and it's like Officer Basil, could you come here, please? And
Yeah, I'm gonna come over and take a look at the ledger as well. Kind of
Yeah.
take a peek over his
Yeah,
shoulder.
it's like I like to confirm that everything is in order, and I'm trying to subtly indicate to you thereby that I want to find out, could there be two books? There could be a ledger that they show for us that keeps hidden everybody cheating on their wives and all that business, and they might have another ledger.
You look at the book, and the book doesn't list any of the missing persons, although Basil does note that there are many erasures of names and other names written over. It looks like this book has been edited, or let's just say there's been a lot of mistakes corrected.
All right, I will say, excuse me, ma'am, is it your policy to alter your ledgers after guests have checked in? Because I see evidence that some names were removed.
She looks at you and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That's actually my fault. You see, I'm not very good at spelling, so many times I get people's names wrong, and then Hendrik comes in and he rewrites the ledger so it's more illegible because I'm really, really bad at spelling. You must understand."
All right, I want to hit him with. I'm going to pull out the intimidation. I think it's time. It's time to get. It's time. I've been good cop. Might have to get a little bad cop, because that's a little shady. Now, but first I want to check my legal standing. The ledger, is that something like due to the innkeeper's laws that they have to maintain appropriately?
Yes.
So this is a technical aberration from the laws, from the innkeeper laws, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use that as leverage to politely insinuate via intimidation, via veiled threats, that if she knows anything about these people, she better like we'll keep it between us, but she better cough up, or else there's going to be all kinds of paperwork and all kinds of trouble.
It would be a
and
shame to be shut down during the radio.
Exactly. Exactly. This is not a time where you want your license in jeopardy, and so you better cough up the information. Should I roll intimidation?
Yeah. Which action are you doing exactly?
Oh, this will be this is it's not demoralize. It's the other one. It's a coerce, I think. Let me see. It's the thing to make them friendly.
I'll guard the door.
Friendly. Lasting coercion. I'm hitting them with lasting coercion.
As opposed to blasting coercion, where you actually like hit them with a fireball.
Exactly. Here it's like, yes, coerce with threats either veiled or overt. I'm making them veiled. Attempt to bully a creature into doing what you want. You have to spend at least 1 minute of conversation, which is what this conversation is. And you can see and sense and all that jazz. And I try to coerce her.
Okay. Intimidation roll. That's you.
I have to get back on the page now. I was like looking at my character sheet. Here, hold on. Should be plus 11 now.
Guess we'll find out. Roll the 6.
Jesus. It's still a 17 though. 17
against her will DC. Let's see. Failure. She
Womp, womp,
looks at you
womp.
and she says, I know my rights. You can't just come in here and start blasting me and start saying you're going to shut us down. We're fully booked for the entire festival. We have no problem keeping people here. And I'm sorry that me being illiterate and having difficulties understanding common is something that's against the law. But, you can't bring me in for that. I hate to say.
All right, I
Oh,
want to
man.
flip it now. I want to flip it, and I want to apologize. And now I'm going to try diplomacy. I'm going to try to make an impression to try to undo the damage I did with the unfriendly and bring her back around. So like, so it's like, oh no, I totally did not mean to in any way be prejudiced against somebody with a learning disability. I'm very, very sorry about that. Like I totally understand we have our own problems, and I myself, you'll notice, like me being a goblin, learning the human tongue, not that easy. I completely understand. So I try to butter it up, and I try to undo my damage.
Work it, make it happen.
So can I roll that? Can I roll
Yes.
diplomacy?
Yes. She's very offended. You know how many languages there are in this city? I can't master
Oh
them
my god,
all.
I'm just failing left and right. I'm doing a terrible job.
She looks at Mr. Gomez. she's already unfriendly with you. She might have even just gone to like just hostile at this point. She's like, you come in here, you ask to see the books, you don't see the names. I've been very accommodating.
All right, I kick Basil. Like where she can't see under the desk there to indicate that Basil should chew me out and get me out of this situation and take over.
Now, who was this other clerk who rewrote the names?
Hendrik. That's the owner of the inn.
May we speak to him?
Hendrik? He is out of town right now. He got called away. He should be back probably in a day or two. But yeah, right now it's just Hendrik and myself who run this inn, and so I'm a little short today, since I have to do everything, including running the inn at night, which you can imagine is quite difficult, especially when people want to come and go.
How many? Just out of curiosity, how many erased entries do there appear to be?
About 15 or 20.
Huh.
Only on the first pages. There's actually a lot more than that. Dozens.
This is very sus, as the kids say nowadays.
It's very sus.
Indeed.
Yes. I think she is the imposter. I think there's imposters in here.
She says, well, I don't know what more I can do to help you out. And with that, suddenly a female halfling woman walks in, and she appears to be fairly old, kind of librarian-ish. She has gray hair, big old bun in her hair, and she walks in. She's like, oh, what's all this? Oh, hello, constables. What's all this then? Is there some trouble, Miss Roslow? I hope not. I'm enjoying my stay at the inn so much.
Oh, she's just some guest?
Yeah, it's a guest. She just walked through the doors, and she's just walking in. She just appears to like she's going out or something.
No trouble, ma'am. We're just looking for some missing persons that were rumored to have stayed here. A group of stonemasons?
Stonemasons? Oh, I know nothing about that. Whew. I tell you, this is the finest establishment of all of Absalom. I love it here. Miss Roslow, do you know when Mr. Pratchett will be back? I have some more things for him to look at that are wrong in my room. And she looks at Dougie and she says to him under her breath, he's like, Mr. Pratchett is quite a stallion, isn't he? I'd like to take him for a ride.
Oh my gosh. Dougie's like, what sort of things are wrong with your room?
Oh, you know. And Miss Roslow just rolls her eyes, knowing this has been going on forever. She's like, oh, you know, little things like the bed wobbles a little, or the faucet's a little a little tight, and it's hard for me to turn with my arthritis in my hand. I need Mr. Pratchett to help me out with that. You know that this hotel has running water and private bathrooms in most of the rooms, including heated water. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know this place is exquisite? I tell you, exquisite.
All right,
sounds like a very nice place. In fact, we were surprised that stonemasons would be staying here. And I'm going to sort of embellish so that what's-her-face, the clerk, hears us. In fact, we had heard that their accommodations were made by German Hoff himself.
That is a good name drop.
We could have got that information anywhere. It doesn't necessarily out us for having gone to the party.
Absolutely.
She's just being quiet this whole time, and Miss Honeywell is just going on and says, "Oh, I don't know anything about that. Oh, stonemasons, you say? Well, why don't you come into my room and we can discuss it over a little bit of tea? Would you like to do that, officers?"
Yes, I love to.
Yes,
that would be good. You know what? I want to try a deception. And now that he dropped that guy's name, I'm going to try and leverage that. And as a deception on the clerk, I'm going to confide in her. I'm going to say it's like I'm sorry, we shouldn't really reveal that information, but it was him that made the that put in the missing person report, and he is very interested in what happened to them. Apparently, there's some business dealings that he needs them for, and so it would be very important to him personally to find out where these people are, which is why we're being so forceful about it, or we're being a little bit overly aggressive about it. And I'm like hoping that dropping his name and leveraging his social status might shake her loose a little.
That's kind of why I thought to bring him up. It was kind of a Hail Mary, but it might shake.
Yeah.
Roslo appears to be very quiet. She isn't saying anything, but that alone seems to be suspicious. She is getting very quiet and trying to let Miss Honeywell do all the talking. So she neither reacts to it nor says anything, but that alone is a little suspicious.
Sense motive isn't a part of this.
Perception.
It's a perception.
It's just perception. Everything's perception at this point.
So when's the
Ooh, Dougie. Dougie's like,
I got a -1 to my perception, by the way.
yeah, well, guess what? I rolled for Dougie. No, you don't. Your perception is +8. No one has a -1 to perception. What are you talking about? Everyone's trained in perception.
Okay.
Is just no one has a crappy perception because that's what's used for initiative. It's impossible. You have an 8 in your perception.
Oh, I was thinking something else. Sorry.
Dougie is like, something's up. I don't know.
My
what.
Deception. That's
Something's
right. Okay.
Up. I smell a rat.
So she's just a clerk, and she mentioned the name of the owner, the manager, the person, her superior.
Yes, Mr. Pratchett, who's gone, who the Miss Honeywell's looking for as well.
When is Mr. Pratchett going to return?
In a day or two.
In a day or two.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's pretty long. Well, in the meantime, maybe we could help you with your situation in the room.
Yes. We'll have tea.
Let's do that.
You can help 4 very strong men. Look at that one. Woo!
It's like Lethal Weapon. No, you don't need an invite you don't need a warrant when they invite you in.
And she's looking at Lomang.
Absolutely.
She's like, hoo, and she walks up. She walks right up to Lomang, and she's like, "Who are you? Aren't you a tall glass of water?" And she's looking you up and down, like with very hungry eyes, Lomang.
I would sense motive on her, but I think we already know what her motive is.
Yeah.
She's looking at all of you. She's like,
She ain't
"No." She's like, 4 strong men, come with me.
Is
2
this
strong
door
men,
open?
a bird, and a goblin.
The bird is not that strong.
And a devil.
It's quite the ragtag group. You walk into the grand hall. A sweeping bifurcated staircase rises up from the northern end of this open space, splitting and curving to either side as it reaches the second floor. A huge portrait of a handsome half-elf man looms over the staircase. At the base of the stairs, the handrails end in marble pillars, topped with statues, one of a crying angel and one of a laughing devil. Tiled corridors stretch off to the east and the west, while bronze lattice doors lead to the south and to the lobby, which you just went through. So this place is gorgeous. Damn, this place is nice. They really spent some money on this place.
Basil, were you able to commit to memory when you looked at the ledger what rooms are currently occupied and what rooms are currently not occupied and what room got erased?
Like what floor?
Most, if not all, were occupied.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Right,
figured
but-
with the festival.
But if room number 34 was one of the erased ones, now that we have access to the
Room
place, one of
237
us might be able to. It would open up an avenue of investigation.
we can
to be able to investigate them.
I didn't say I did it, but then again, we can always go back and look at the ledger again. We have permission to do that.
All right.
Actually, you know what? Before we go upstairs, I'm going to actually run back and do that. I'm going to go take a look and see if I can get a room number of the ones that was erased, in about the time frame that the stone.
Right,
would have been
just
there.
to be able to use the ledger as evidence of where if the Masons were here, what room they would have been in.
Okay, I'll say you go back very quickly. She's putting it away, but you quickly jump over.
Ma'am,
you-
need to check
you
one
look
more
at it.
thing really quick.
Yeah,
Never mind that
look.
putting in the way stuff.
Yeah, you
Bring it out
can
in.
check it. You can write them down. and you can come back. I won't give you, there's no actual room numbers, but as you go through, I can tell you, you'll know which ones are the suspect rooms and which aren't. But with that, Miss Honeywell, who continues to go on, and she's like, "Oh, look at Mr. Pratchett there. Isn't he a handsome devil? Woo! What a nice-looking fella, I tell you." And that's actually the picture on the stairwell she points at. She's like, "I come here and just look at that picture for a little bit."
Is he handsome or is she delusional?
He's handsome. He's actually...
I commit his face to memory. It'd be nice to know what he looks like whenever.
Oh, I'll show you what it looks like.
I don't know if I have time to do it, but I may make him a target of one of my leads.
You have time. Why
Yeah, I'll make him a
have time?
target of one of my leads just in case he's either missing or if he's possibly behind the disappearances in any way.
There, I got a picture of what he looks like. I put it in the chat.
Oh, it's adorable.
Isn't he cute? Look at him.
He's a happy guy.
He's a happy guy.
He looks like
that
a
Pratchett?
rascal.
He looks like a leprechaun.
rascally.
He's a leprechaun.
Yeah, he does look like a leprechaun. Is that Pratchett?
Yes, that's Pratchett.
Okay.
That's Pratchett. And she brings you through the halls, chit-chatting with you, and she's like, come to my room. Oh, I do apologize
Move
for
your
the
characters, guys.
larger members. You'll need to stoop a little.
Come on, Basil. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, stop
You're
loitering
going.
in the hall.
Loitering in the hall.
I'm avoiding.
I like the hall. The hall's a good place.
First of all, she brings over where Dougie is, and she opens up that door, and she's like, "Look in there. Look at that. That is something that you just don't see." And sure enough, you see a small, elegant chamber that contains a privy seat, a basin, and a waist-high pedestal, and a tub for bathing, each made of white porcelain and bearing a gleaming metal handle. She's like, "Look at this!" And she walks over, and she turns on the faucet, and hot water is coming out. She's like,
Wow.
"Look, indoor plumbing, indoor showers, hot water. Do you know how rare this is in this day and age?
Wow.
It is quite a treat, and this is my bathroom. Isn't that lovely?"
I marvel at the modern ingenuity of our engineers in Absalom.
Is it lit by torch, or is there?
Yes, there's ever-burning torches everywhere throughout this place. So as you walk into her room, she's like, please, come in. This is cool. The ceilings of this well-appointed room are only 5 feet high and covered in elaborate wooden molding carved to resemble leaves and branches. All the furniture is half the usual size for humans, and low windows with pink curtains look out into a small garden bed. Paintings of fruit bowls and assorted domestic scenes hang on the wall. She's like, "Look at this. They have a room specifically for halflings and other of my size." And Gomez, although he shouldn't, loves it.
I do love it. I was going to say that I love it.
It's like,
It's great.
This is amazing. This is a room built for Gomez.
It's actually my size. It's fascinating. It's wonderful. But as I'm complimenting it, I am investigating every nook and cranny to find out. I want to see if there's any innkeeper code violations.
If anything, this place should be the model
Wow.
for every single place ever created in the history of the world, because this place is like Michelin 3 stars.
Oh,
I mean, this place is 5-star plus. Like, everything here is beyond state of the art, brand new, unbelievable. The craftsmanship is superior. You just can't believe it.
Wow.
So she invites you in. She's like, oh, and Lomang, Basil, Dougie probably just sit on the bed, but she brings over Gomez. She's like, please join me, sit. And she has a
Very
little bit of tea.
uncomfortable.
And she's like, yeah, you guys are like
I mean, I'm
totally
tall.
bent over.
Yeah, I'm like,
I whisper to my comrades discreetly that this might be a good opportunity for me to keep her busy, because she's our license to be in here, while you guys go
Should search.
search around, check out the other rooms, and see if you could find the room that these stone
sounds
masons should have
good.
been in. And I'll just diplomatize her and keep her company.
the only issue with that, though, is that there's gonna be people in these rooms. Like, it's fully booked, right?
Well, we can look around. We can listen. We can listen at doors. We can walk around and get the lay of the land.
And your cops, what are they going to do? You're going to be like,
Yeah, we can knock on doors and say, is everything okay? We've had some complaints. In fact, Dougie's going to do that right now. He's going to knock on this door.
But anyway, so I cover my allies leaving. It's like, oh well, this room is our size, not so much theirs. And so tell me, like, so maybe you guys are more comfortable out in the hall, and then I go immediately into chatting her up about what problems she had with the room, and how was her day, and where was her visit, and what does she think of the festival so far, and I just sweet talk her with my diplomacy.
Okay. So you two are chatting away, and she seems to be talking mostly about the various men that she's been eyeballing throughout the festival, and Mr. Pratchett, and she really seems to have a one-track mind. I'm telling you that right now. She is having a fun time. She is enjoying herself.
Isn't she? What is she, like, really old, or what's her?
Oh
story?
yeah.
She's here for this festival.
Wow.
She's here for the festival.
She needs to calm down. She's a little hyped up here.
In fact, wait, I got a picture of her too.
We'll get a secret knock for you, Seth. Actually, I'm
Don't
sorry.
you put your orcish morality on her?
Yeah, maybe there's a necktie that's going to be going on that.
Maybe
door
it's
in a
just
little
one of
while.
those races that lives forever.
It is. Yeah, she is. She's a halfling. I mean, she lives for a long time.
Yeah.
There, that's what she looks like. Isn't she adorable? I put her
Yeah.
in the handouts.
Yeah, for grandma.
Yeah, well, she's a hot grandma. What do you want?
Yeah.
No one knows. You don't know. Don't judge.
Oh, I'll judge. I'm judge, jury, and if need be, executioner. I am the law.
Yeah, we have the badge.
Judge Dredd.
Okay, you quietly go into the hallway, and the door directly to the north. You knock, but nothing happens.
Okay, so the procedure is we're going to I'm going to listen, knock, and just then ignore it if nobody answers. So, do we hear anything before we knock or after?
You listen, you hear nothing. You knock, nothing happens.
Does that sound good to you guys? Just to
Yep. I'll come with you.
All right.
I mean, you have lockpicks, but that's
Yeah,
fair.
I'm gonna use my search mode as I'm gonna peek down here first.
Basil does know that room, this one is one of the ones that was on the list.
Oh, of one of the scratched off
The room
rooms?
he just knocked on?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, I have a disabled device.
Yep.
There's many rooms, as you can see. There's a lot of rooms in this hotel, so there's many doors.
Let's get in trouble immediately, shall we?
Okay. You don't see Roslo around because
that
you are
thievery?
guests, so she's nothing she can do. Yep. It's
Okay.
thievery. So the door does appear to be locked, and if you want to try to unlock it, it's all you, baby. And I don't know how many picks you got. 26, maybe.
What's the lawmaker badge have to say about all this?
We are licensed to do this. We're literally carrying the license to do this. We're sent here to investigate.
So far, so good. I'll put it this way. As long as you don't start barging into rooms and you're doing it the correct way, and there you have reason to believe suspicion for this room specifically because it was on the list.
Sure.
Otherwise, no. You couldn't
And
do
there's
that.
chicanery with the list. We don't trust the clerk. I'm going in.
Okay, we got the medieval equivalent of
The
probable
moral
cause.
high ground.
Well, no. Actually, if you didn't have that list, I'd say you couldn't do this.
Sure.
That you literally would not be able to enter this room.
Can't just go into rooms at random, but if we know
Exactly.
this one was
All
one of
right,
the ones.
I have entered in the room. I'm going to do a perception check.
Glass icicles drape from the ceiling of this whitewashed, wood-paneled room. A large wooden wardrobe stands against the north wall, while a huge frame painting of an elegant snow-covered castle hangs on the eastern wall over a bed heaped with furs. This room, as you're starting to get a handle of things, they appear to be themed. The other room kind of looked like almost like a halfling grove, or like something that halflings would be comfortable with. So this looks like Isrizne, which is the land to the north, which is cold. Okay, hold on, Dougie.
I'm going to do a nature check when I have a chance to identify the
Okay,
furs.
you look around and you notice something.
Ooh, a clue.
Wait a second. Irissene was one of the missing people. There were one, the ice wine merchant. If they like tailor rooms to the people staying in them.
It's all coming together.
On the floor, Dougie notices a hidden trapdoor.
Bum bum bum.
Fellas, there's a clue. I found a clue. What kind of animal skins are these?
There's a trapdoor. Can you tell me more about the molding on the walls? I'm very curious. What type of wood is this?
It's heaped with animal skins. This could be like I'm checking
bears,
to see if
cougars. Like these are all
The
animals.
Cougars with Gomez right now.
Yes, that's true. Ooh, there you go. They're all animals from the north. Like these are all very large northern animal furs that are
so it's like a bedspread type of thing?
Yeah, it's the bed. It's the blanket.
Okay, I thought there might be skins from the zoo animals or something horrible.
No,
okay, all right. Yeah, I just want to make sure they're
I'm
not.
gonna briefly duck my head into the halfling room and give Gomez a little bit of
Yeah, we could give him the secret knock and draw him in here.
So is that the so that's the excuse myself politely. I'll be
Yes.
right back. I have to visit the bathroom. Knock.
Duty
All right.
calls. Duty calls.
I do that. I excuse myself and I go and join the party.
She's like, do come back. We have to finish our discussion, and you did promise to meet me later for lunch or dinner or something
Absolutely.
after dinner. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Show you
god,
a night on the
she's
town.
Randy, man. Fucking going after a goblin. Her tastes are broad. She's very broad-minded. All right,
Promise is a promise, Gomez.
Yes, and I say, well, if I could fit it in with the investigation that we're currently under, of course, I'll look you up. I know where you live.
No,
All right,
don't
bye.
worry. I'll fit you into my schedule, if you know what I mean.
All right, fair enough.
He does know what she means. He does know that.
And so, okay, so wait, catch me up. What is this room, and what's the idea of the secret door?
Lomang, while you're doing that, is closing the door.
Well, first of all, these rooms seem to be tailored to a person, and this one is like the home place of the one ice wine merchant who went missing. More importantly, there's a trap door in the room, which is particularly suspicious and odd.
Yeah, I'm checking to see if it's trapped.
It is. It's a trap door. And it looks like that if you step on it, you would go down a chute that goes, down. You can disable it or step on it.
It goes down a chute.
Yeah, I'm going to disable it.
It's not just a trap door. It's a trap door.
It's a trap door.
trap
It's
door,
like you
yeah.
step on the door and you go down the chute into.
All right, I'm going to take a guess that is not up to Innkeeper code.
Yeah,
Such an installation is not up to Innkeeper
It's
code.
out of the theme of the Winter Wonderland. That is its violation right there.
Right. This is murder you in your sleep and dispose of the body type stuff is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that a fair
Well, it looks like if you step
conclusion
on
to
it,
jump to?
you would fall down. So probably, this does not look like. Maybe if this was somewhere else and not in the middle of the room, it probably would not be. I would say you don't want
Wait,
to.
let me ask you a question. Did anywhere on this block we see a store that sells meat pies?
I
That's
know,
what
exactly.
I couldn't remember
know.
the name of it. I couldn't remember the name, but that's
Sweeney
exactly Sweeney Todd. Yes, this is a Sweeney Todd style.
The demon hotelier of Fleet Street.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the Murder Castle. Remember that crazy historical castle?
Right.
In
So
New
do we
Hampshire?
do we have rope and want to lower somebody down and do
Well-
maybe an exploration, or do we want to note this and start searching other rooms for similar
Before we
problems?
get into that, just a question of mechanics. Do I have to tie a rope around my waist and stuff like this to disable trap? Because I don't
No,
want to go down the I've
no.
discovered
All you do
it. Okay.
is you can just lock it into position so that it won't fall if you step on it. That's how you can disable it. You can disable it many ways. You can either disable it so it won't open anymore. You can disable it so it's always open, so people see it. Whatever you want, you now know it's there. You can just break it if you wanted to and smash it.
okay.
I mean,
What do you guys think?
Oh, to cut to the chase, I smell dungeon. I smell dungeon
Yeah,
underneath this
it's
thing
definitely
that we
dungeon.
have to go and investigate. Now the question is, do we climb down this chute and
I
progress
don't think
that
this is the way to go down, though.
Yeah, or do we find something better in one of the other rooms?
Yeah, this is just the first room. I think that we shouldn't actually do anything because then if the bad guy sees this and they see that the thing has been tripped or jammed or something, then they know the jig is up. We tip our hand.
Like
if
we
do
could
anything.
we could also do something where like I could double down on the intimidation and try to get the clerk in here and pull the old we saw something in the other rooms whenever we need somebody to look at it, and then kind of get and then kind
I
of
like that.
like ask her to step exactly over that spot, and when she doesn't do it because she knows it's a trapdoor and what'll happen, then we use that to break her and get her to cough up.
Yeah.
I mean, the only problem is then you got to deal with her because if she's in on it,
Well,
then,
that's a good
I agree.
thing.
I agree with that too. Like
I want to deal with her
personally,
when
I'm-
she's by herself, though.
Yeah, my inclination is to explore the dungeon. Like this leads to a dungeon, and we should explore it. That's my inclination. It's like get a rope and down the chute, and we go.
I mean, I could
That's my
probably
inclination.
climb down it like without a rope even. I could free solo it.
Yeah, but I want to do the dungeon, believe me, but I don't want to tip our hand. I don't want her to run down and say, oh, there's a bunch of cops running around. If we can actually do the whole thing where if she freaks out and we have to subdue her, I'd rather do it when it's 4-on-1 versus her alerting her guards, and then now she's one of the other. I don't want 2 encounters at once. I'd
All right,
rather
well,
just
let's
deal
break.
with her right
Let's
now.
take a step down. Like, there's 2 ways to go. One is involve the clerk. One is not involved in the clerk. My inclination is don't involve the clerk and proceed straight down the chute into adventure. If we want to not do that and involve the clerk, we're in a very good position because we have evidence. We have a lot of suspicious things that we could just bring her in on. The ledger has been modified, plus secret trapdoor to who knows where equals charges and further investigation, and we bring her in and put her under the hot lights and get her to turn state's evidence and reveal the plot that way.
And we
Like
flip
that,
her.
like if we go to cop route, basically we confront her with what we know. We take her under arrest and we go in and we interrogate her and get the information. That's one. But the other option, which I'm just personally more in favor of, is dungeon crawl, and that's stay secret, basically lock the door and investigate that chute to see where it goes and what's down at the bottom.
well, while you're discussing this, Dougie hears from this room 10 feet to the east from the door. He hears a woman screaming. What do you do?
I
Oh
charge
well,
into
then we
the
have
door.
to go. Yeah, we have to go
I
get
barge
that.
into the door.
You barge in.
Yeah, we immediately respond to the screams for help, like police would.
Okay. Dougie runs up to the hallway. Everyone's following. He busts open the door, and inside you see colorful silks hang from the ceiling of this large bedroom over an oversized canopy bed, a low divan, and an abundance of scattered cushions. Curtains conceal windows to the north, and double doors of angled wooden slats can be closed to partition off a private bathroom to the south or open to leave the facilities exposed to the rest of the room. A massive moth-eaten tapestry on their eastern wall depicts a satyr and a nymph about to do something scandalous on the sandy shore of a desert oasis.
That explains the
As
scream.
Dougie barges in, he sees a man and a woman who are currently not wearing any clothes and are in the middle of some very passionate wrestling.
Sorry.
Oh,
wrong
God
room.
damn it!
Sorry.
Oh, wait, sorry. It's you interrupted their wrestling match, and they're like, ah! They scream as you barge in, red-faced, and duck under the covers.
I close the door. I'm closing the door. I'm closing the door.
Wrong room. Sorry, wrong room.
Sorry, wrong room.
I give the guy a thumbs up. It's like,
Okay,
Oh
well,
my gosh. That freaked out Dougie. Dougie is like, oh my gosh, what did we do?
I immediately look around and wait for the double spook. That was spook 1. We're spook 2.
You already
Where is
had
it?
Spook 1 was Miss Honeywell talking to you. This is Spook 2.
Okay, so we're not immediately getting
All right.
attacked.
No. Dougie misunderstood what a scream from a woman sounds like.
That's
When
true.
it's-
That's fair
true.
enough.
No idea.
That's
And
understandable.
He's absolutely the perfect person to fall for that prank. So
what do we want to do? Do we want to go down the chute? Do we want to check out more rooms? Do we want
Yeah,
to?
what do you guys
we want
want?
to take? The,
I want
do we
to take a closer look at that chute and see what the story is.
I agree.
So going back to that room, this chute. Okay, so that square is a trapped square. So it's like if you step on there, that thing pops open and you go down a chute. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So from here, can I like take my whatever, or push it from here and activate it and see what happens when it opens?
It would require a lot of weight. It looks like it's set to handle a humanoid's weight, but yes, you could set it off manually if you wish.
All right, I set it off manually, and then I look down with my dark vision.
There is a chute that goes 30 feet down into darkness. You do see some light, but it appears to be kind of dim light. Oh, that's right. You have dark vision, right?
I have dark and low light. I have both.
Okay. This is what you see. You look down, and you see 30 feet down a shaft that ends into something. At first, you think it's a trick of the light, but then you see whatever it ends into is moving, and it's quite large.
I wonder if that's the ochre jelly.
Okay, so it's not like this is a safe chute you can just slide down, have fun.
You can try to slide down it and see what happens. It doesn't look like a fun chute, I'll tell you. It might be fun for whatever's down there, but it's you don't know what it is, Lomang. You have
Okay,
no
it looks like
idea.
I thought it might be a way to get down someplace, but it looks like a death trap actually. So, and I say it looks like
we have magic. There's magical options. I'm like reading things here. Hold on.
like does anyone have light? Like maybe you can cast light down there so you can get a better look at whatever the hell. There's something moving down there.
This is a huge hotel. You guys are spending a lot of time in one room.
Yeah.
I'd say.
let's
And
make a
there's many,
decision.
many more rooms that Basil knows. That room, by the way, where the honeymoon couple was, that was a safe room. Nothing was on that room. But he does know that room southwest, that also was on the list.
Now let's start looking at some other rooms and find a safer way down. Or
I have a theory that the missing people could all be in rooms that have a similar chute to this that go all to the same place, and that's what they're
Oh, interesting. Let's go out the door and look for.
let's try the next room.
Well,
on
well
the
let me discuss a couple options with you before we proceed. I have a scroll of pest form, but it doesn't appear that pest form would let me be a wall climbing creature, and you have to cast it heightened to get fly.
Correct.
But that is like pest form is an option for sneakiness. I also have 2 scrolls of charm, so we can also try to cast charm on the clerk and interrogate the clerk here and try to get some more direct information.
that may be troubling legally because that's kind of an attack. Like you're trying to charm someone. It's not.
Yeah, if we're gonna do that, we just got to confront her. I mean, we've got her red-handed. I mean, she's lying. She's part of a illegal operation, obviously.
Right.
This
I
is
just wanted to bring this stuff
Okay.
up before we ran around to something else. And so it sounds like okay, yeah. So it sounds like
Let's just
turning into a bug and going down chute, not a good idea. And charm, we don't want to go down that road.
Yeah,
So,
let's do a couple
okay.
more rooms and see where that leads us.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
just check out this hallway.
Yep, I'm with it.
To the south of where Dougie is, there's a doorway.
There's a door to the south. Lomang sees there's an L, and there's another door to the north as well. And that room is
What about that
also
door?
on the list, by the way. So there's 2 rooms on the list.
So which one's the one that's on the list that's nearest to us now?
The one south of Dougie, and there's one north
Okay.
of Lomang. So you
Okay.
got,
I'm
got a whole
gonna
bunch of rooms.
listen, knock, and then
Listen. You hear nothing.
I'm gonna knock.
You knock and you wait and you hear nothing.
Okay, and now I'm gonna try. I'll just try the door. Is the door unlocked?
It's locked.
Okay. Well, now we'll pick the door. We're going to use our skills to thievery.
But yeah, now we definitely got probable cause to do whatever we need to do.
Look at that. 27, natural 20. Dougie just Fonzie's the door open. He's like,
Yes. Bump.
you open the door. The windows along the walls of this bedroom are stylized to look like portholes. A large painting of a pirate ship hangs on one wall with portholes to show a tropical ocean scene. A large painting of a pirate ship hangs on one wall, and the wooden bed frame has been carved to resemble thick ropes and elaborate knots. A classic wooden pirate chest, straight out of a storybook, sits at the foot of the bed.
So
Let's do a close search for more trapdoors.
I'm going to go in and search from where I'm standing.
You search around. This room obviously is pirated themed, probably from The Shackles. Starting to see the theme here. There's a room for each part of the world, which makes sense because perfect for the Radiant Festival. Because wherever you're from, you got a room for you. You look around. You don't see a trap door near you or in the room.
Huh. Guys, I don't see a trapdoor, but this is so suspicious.
I say we go in the next room.
I find myself wondering, is there a way to identify a room that would be Minkayan?
Eventually, yes. This is not one, though. I mean, you know enough that if you found one, you would be able to do it, yes.
Can we tie... How about this? I want to tie a rope around my waist and a rope around Lomang.
Okay.
Okay.
And maybe we can just
Polish mind detect it.
Yeah, leapfrog our way in. Like, I go here.
Okay.
I'll hold on to the rope.
So you think there might still be a trapdoor?
Oh, there's a trap in here. His spidey senses are tingling.
I would agree with that.
Dougie walks in. He's looking around. He doesn't see anything. Basil's looking around. The only thing he notices is that inside of the treasure chest, it looks like there is there's like a gold necklace hanging out, which looks like it's probably a good fake, something obviously just to add to the accoutrements of this room. And, you're very impressed. Like, there's portholes. Like, this thing looks like a ship. It's really cool. If you weren't, investigating murders, you'd be like, this is the coolest place I've ever seen.
And we don't have anybody nautically themed on our list either, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
If we're trying to match rooms to people that are missing.
Yes, that's true.
Is it likely from what you remember of the erased things? Does it match up perfectly? Are we going in a direction where everybody on that list has been to this hotel and they've all vanished? Is that where this is going?
Well, there was a lot of people on the list. Besides, there was more. Actually, let me rephrase that. There was more erasures than there were people on the list.
More erasures than people on the list.
Yes, because there was erasures.
The people we know about could be a subset.
Mm-hmm. So Dougie is looking around. So far, everything appears to be good. He's tapping on stuff, looking at the bed, tapping slowly looking. Nothing appears to be out of the ordinary just yet.
So I think I've been everywhere in the room. I mean, okay. So
can we go back to the old lady's room and just kind of help her look for help her with all of her complaints and in the process of that, make sure that she doesn't have a trapdoor, and we're gonna. I'm starting to worry about her now.
Well, I mean, we were all in there and nothing went off.
Yeah, we stepped on a lot of
As Dougie's walking around and he's walking in front of Lomang and he's like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. I don't see anything. This place is, it's fine. The pirate chest comes to life and attacks Dougie.
What?
Oh, no.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Roll for combat.
Oh, mimics are grim.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat, Agents of Edgewatch. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com.